Hey folks, how's it going? It's your favorite realtor, Evan Saint-Gerard with Team NWE of Keller Williams Realty Landmark. I got a special guest today, Saverio Iaconis. So another interesting question that we get, forbearance. We've been hearing a lot about this in the news lately. What can you tell us about the process? What is forbearance, first of all?
It's effectively an agreement between you and your bank or servicer to take a temporary pause on your current payments and take those payments, aggregate them, and put them at the end of that break and start over again when the temporary need is gone. What we're seeing today, because of COVID, is a lot of forbearance agreements, and some are helpful, meaning they'll just aggregate that paused dollar amount and put it at the end of the loan. But a lot, more common than not, is they're saying, take 6 months off, but you know that money you owe me? You owe it back at the end of the 6 months.
Okay, that's the part that I wanted to make sure. Let's just say that one more time, break it down in common English, because a lot of people don't understand that. They think it's like a pause, and I'm forgiven for those months. One more time in plain English.
Sure. So when you're in an agreement with your bank for forbearance, they're going to not let you pay for a few months, but the amount of money you didn't pay for those few months, they're going to want that money at the end of that time.
So whatever time that you agree, whether it's 6 months, 3 months, 4 months,
Right.
whatever,
Right.
you still owe that money, and you
Correct.
at whatever time frame that agreement ends. Basically, you need the whole amount of whatever you owe. All right. Okay. So now that, let's say somebody's done that, they're in that process right now. What should they be? What's the next step? They made the agreement with the bank. They're getting close to the end of that agreement.
They should check with their bank or servicer to make sure that the agreement is in force, make sure that they're not adversely affecting their credit.
Okay.
Because that's important. Because when you don't make payments, the creditor usually bangs your credit report, right? This is just an agreement where they shouldn't be. So you want to make sure that, as you're approaching the end, you want to ask your bank, hey, you haven't reported me late. We're coming up on the end of this little agreement we have. Can I extend it? Because I don't know if I can come up with that lump sum. Or B, here's the lump sum, and then we can resume our original payment amount.
All right. Should they, let's say, before we even approach the due date, shouldn't they basically reach out to their servicer and check to make sure, like you mentioned with the credit, just double check beforehand before you agree on anything. Just make sure, dot your T's and I's. Hey, you know what? I want to make sure this doesn't affect my credit. I think it might be wise if somebody does that as they're making this happen.
It's wise. It's wise. And I can tell you how Citibank is handling those situations right now.
Sure.
So when I have a client comes in and says, I want to refi, but I'm in forbearance. Our policy is we're okay with that if you entered that agreement without any lates, meaning this agreement to pause or forbearance was a function of COVID, not because of any other reason. Right?
Gotcha.
And if so, it's not adversely affecting your credit report. It doesn't hurt your credit score. Okay. And then we can refinance, because maybe that's an option. In other words, if your monthly payment is $2,000 and you're taking a 6-month break, are you going to have the $12,000? Right?
Knock on wood, you have it.
So in those situations, Citibank will ask you a couple of questions. A, you entered forbearance in an okay status. Okay. Now you needed $12,000 to get back on your feet, so to speak, because it's a big lump, and you're going to go back into payments. We can refinance for that money, like taking a cash out refinance. But because it's earmarked for the repayment of the forbearance, we're not going to call that cash out. Okay. So, the distinction is if you're just doing it for the rate, you get, to lower your rate on a refinance, you get a particular interest rate. If you're doing a refinance to take cash out, it's normally higher because it poses more risk to the bank. In this situation of forbearances, Even though you're taking cash, it's earmarked to pay off the COVID forbearance. So we're not hurting you for that situation. We're just giving you the benefit of just a regular rate and term refi.
All right, this all sounds complicated, but obviously if you're working with the right person, they're going to guide you throughout the whole process.
Correct.
And you've been doing this for how many years?
Over 20 years.
Okay.
Over 20 years.
So you pretty much heard every other question,
Right.
every combination of questions. So how can people reach you if they're interested in finding out about refinancing, purchasing, or forbearance, or anything involving refinancing?
Sure. My direct number is 516-404-3052.
All right, so guys, thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call. You can give me a call if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest. You can call me, Evan Saint-Gerard, at 917-975-5985. I'll give you that number one more time, 917-975-5985.